Chapter 1. The Disappearance. Detective Anna Collins sat in her dimly lit office, the soft hum of her desk lamp barely cutting through the oppressive quiet. The smell of stale coffee mingled with the faint aroma of old paper and ink. She leaned back in her chair, staring at the corkboard on the wall, covered in photos, notes, and red string connecting various pieces of evidence. Her mind was racing, trying to piece together the puzzle of Emily Parker's disappearance. Emily was a renowned investigative journalist, known for her hard-hitting stories that exposed corruption and crime in the city. She was fearless, tenacious, and according to her colleagues, one of the best in the business. But now, she was missing, and the only clue was her last known location, an old abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. Anna's thoughts were interrupted by a knock on her office door. She looked up to see Officer Johnson standing there, his expression serious. "Detective Collins, we've got some more information on Emily Parker." Anna gestured for him to come in and take a seat. Johnson was a tall, solidly built man in his 40s, with a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow and a calm demeanor that belied his intense dedication to his work. "What do we have?" Johnson handed her a thin file. Inside, there were a few photographs of Emily, a copy of her last published article, and a list of her recent contacts. Her editor said she was working on something big. He didn't know the details, but whatever it was, it had her spooked. She mentioned a name. The Whisperer. Anna's brow furrowed as she flipped through the file. The name was unfamiliar, but it sent a chill down her spine. She had a gut feeling that Emily had uncovered something dangerous. The Whisperer. Who or what could that be? And why would it make Emily so scared? She closed the file and looked at Johnson, her determination hardening. "We need to start at the factory. Maybe we'll find some clues there. Let's head out." The drive to the factory was uneventful, the cityscape giving way to desolate industrial areas. The factory itself was a looming structure, its windows shattered and walls covered in graffiti. It had been abandoned for years, a relic of the city's past. As they stepped out of the car, Anna inhaled the scent of decay and rust. The air was thick with dust, and the silence was almost deafening. "This place gives me the creeps. Keep your eyes peeled." Johnson nodded, his hand resting on the grip of his service weapon. They walked carefully through the crumbling entrance, their footsteps echoing in the vast, empty space. The factory floor was littered with debris, broken machinery, old crates, and discarded tools. "Look, over there. It's a notebook." He pointed to a small, battered notebook lying near a rusted workbench. Anna picked it up, careful not to disturb the dust too much. The cover was smudged, but she could make out Emily's handwriting. It's her notes on the story. She mentioned someone named the Whisperer. They skimmed through the pages, which were filled with scribbled notes, sketches, and question marks. Emily had been onto something big, but the details were vague. "Emily, what did you find? And who is this Whisperer?" They continued to search the factory, moving methodically through the rooms. In one corner, they found a small, makeshift office. It was clear that someone had been using it recently. There were empty coffee cups, crumpled papers, and a laptop bag. "Do you think Emily was meeting someone here?" "It's possible. Or she could have been hiding. Either way, we need to find out who else has been here." As they were about to leave the office, Anna's phone buzzed. It was a message from the station. Emily's car had been found parked a few blocks away, near a rundown motel. "Let's go. Maybe we'll find more clues at the motel." The motel was a seedy place, the kind of establishment that catered to people who wanted to stay off the grid. The manager, a grumpy old man with a cigarette dangling from his lips, was less than helpful. "Yeah, she was here. Checked in 2 nights ago. Paid cash. Didn't see her leave." Anna's frustration grew as they searched Emily's room. It was small and dingy, with peeling wallpaper and a musty smell. There were no personal belongings, no signs of a struggle. "Emily, where did you go? And why were you here?" As they were about to leave, Johnson noticed something odd. The bed had been moved slightly, and there was a small gap between the mattress and the wall. He reached down and pulled out a flash drive, covered in dust. This could be important. Anna took the flash drive, her mind racing with possibilities. They needed to get back to the station and see what was on it. As they left the motel, Anna felt a mix of hope and dread. They were getting closer, but she knew that whoever was behind Emily's disappearance would stop at nothing to keep their secrets hidden. Back at the station, they plugged the flash drive into a secure computer. The files were encrypted, a testament to Emily's caution. "Smart move, Emily. But now we need to crack this." They called in the IT team, who began working on decrypting the files. As they waited, Anna's mind wandered back to Emily. She remembered meeting her a few times at press conferences and crime scenes. Emily was always so confident, so sure of herself. What had she uncovered that made her so afraid? "Hang in there, Emily. We'll find you." The IT team finally managed to decrypt the files. They contained a series of emails, photographs, and documents. It was a treasure trove of information about a powerful criminal organization known as the Syndicate. "This is huge. No wonder Emily was scared. We need to move fast." As they sifted through the files, Anna's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a text from an unknown number. "Stop looking for her or you'll be next." A shiver ran down Anna's spine. The message was clear. Someone was watching them. "I'm not backing down. We need to find Emily no matter the cost." She looked at Johnson, who had also seen the message. "What do we do now?" "We keep going. But be careful. Trust no one." As they prepared to delve deeper into the investigation, Anna couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The stakes were higher than ever, and the clock was ticking. They had to find Emily before it was too late. "Emily, wherever you are, we're coming for you. Just hold on." With renewed determination, Anna and Johnson set off on the next leg of their investigation, knowing that they were up against a powerful and dangerous enemy. The game had just begun, and they were playing for keeps. Chapter 2: The Factory. The drive back to the abandoned factory was tense. The unease from the threatening text message hung in the air like a thick fog. Anna kept glancing at her rearview mirror, half expecting to see a tail, but the streets remained eerily empty. "They know we're getting close. We need to be smarter, faster." The factory loomed ahead, a hulking silhouette against the twilight sky. They parked a safe distance away and approached on foot, their flashlights cutting through the growing darkness. The factory, once a bustling hub of activity, now stood as a monument to decay and neglect. "This place is massive. We need to be thorough. Let's split up, cover more ground, stay in contact." "Got it. Be careful, Anna." Anna nodded, her hand instinctively brushing the grip of her service weapon. She ventured left, towards the old assembly line, while Johnson moved right, towards the offices. The air inside was stale, filled with the scent of rust and rot. "Emily, what were you looking for here?" As she moved deeper into the factory, the sounds of the outside world faded away, replaced by the creaking of old metal and the occasional scurry of rodents. Her flashlight beam flickered over the remnants of machinery and broken furniture, casting long, eerie shadows. In the distance, she heard a faint noise, a soft, scraping sound. She froze, listening intently. The noise came again, this time louder. It was coming from the old manager's office. "Is someone here?" She approached the office cautiously, her flashlight sweeping the area. The door was slightly ajar, and the sound was clearer now. Someone was inside. She took a deep breath and nudged the door open with her foot, her gun at the ready. Inside, a figure crouched by an old filing cabinet, rummaging through its contents. The light from her flashlight made the intruder jump, and they turned to face her. A young man, his eyes wide with fear. Freeze! Hands where I can see them. The man quickly raised his hands, dropping a handful of papers. Please don't shoot. I'm just looking for my sister. Anna lowered her gun slightly, but kept it trained on him. Who's your sister? What are you doing here? The man swallowed hard, his voice trembling. My name's Danny. Danny Parker. Emily is my sister. I came here because I found a note she left. It said she'd be here. Anna's mind raced. Danny Parker was a name she recognized from Emily's background check. A younger brother, just out of college. Danny, I'm Detective Anna Collins. I'm looking for Emily too. Why didn't you come to the police? Danny lowered his hands slowly, his face a mix of relief and desperation. I didn't trust anyone. Emily always said the police were compromised. She told me to stay away and that if anything happened to her, I should find you. Anna's heart sank. Emily had anticipated this, had known she might need help from someone she could trust. All right, Danny, what do you know about Emily's investigation? Danny hesitated, glancing at the scattered papers on the floor. Not much, just that she was digging into something big. She mentioned a group called the Syndicate and this person, the Whisperer. She said they were dangerous, that they had eyes everywhere. Anna holstered her gun and bent down to help Danny gather the papers. Among them were old factory records, employee lists, and a few more of Emily's notes. We found some notes at the station, too. Emily was onto something major. We need to put the pieces together. As they gathered the papers, Anna's phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen. A message from Officer Johnson. Found something in the office area. Need you here. Come on, Danny. Let's go see what Johnson found. They made their way through the darkened corridors of the factory, the only sound their footsteps echoing off the concrete walls. Johnson was waiting in the office area, standing next to a large, rusted safe. Found this hidden in a false wall. It was already open when I got here. Anna peered inside the safe. It was empty save for a single, crumpled piece of paper. She unfolded it carefully, her eyes scanning the hastily scribbled note. Meeting at the docks. Midnight. Don't be late. Danny's eyes widened. That's tonight. We need to go. Anna nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. The docks were a dangerous place at night, a haven for illicit activities. If Emily was meeting someone there, it could be their chance to find her. Johnson, call for backup. We're heading to the docks. Danny, you stay close to us. As they made their way back to the car, Anna's thoughts were a whirlwind of fear and determination. The Whisperer, the Syndicate, Emily's cryptic notes. It all pointed to something big, something dangerous. And now, they were walking into the heart of it. Emily, hold on. We're coming. The drive to the docks was tense. The city lights faded behind them as they entered the industrial district, the air growing colder and the streets quieter. The docks were a maze of shipping containers, warehouses, and dark alleyways. Stay sharp. We don't know what we're walking into. They parked a short distance away and approached on foot, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The sound of waves lapping against the pier and the distant hum of machinery filled the air. As they neared the meeting point, they saw a figure standing alone by the edge of the dock, illuminated by the faint glow of a nearby streetlight. Anna motioned for Johnson and Danny to stay back as she approached cautiously. Emily? The figure turned, and Anna's heart sank. It wasn't Emily. It was a man, tall and thin, with a nervous energy about him. He looked around frantically, his eyes wide with fear. Who are you? Where's Emily? Anna kept her distance, her hand hovering near her gun. I'm Detective Collins. I'm looking for Emily too. Who are you? The man swallowed hard, his voice trembling. I'm Peter Evans. I'm a source. Emily was supposed to meet me here. She said she had evidence that could bring down the Syndicate. Anna's mind raced. Peter Evans was a name she recognized from Emily's notes, a whistleblower within the Syndicate. Where is she, Peter? What happened? Peter shook his head, panic creeping into his voice. I don't know. We were supposed to meet here, but she never showed. I'm scared. They're after me. Before Anna could respond, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed through the night. She turned, her flashlight beam catching the glint of metal. A gun. Get down! She pulled Peter to the ground as shots rang out, bullets whizzing past them. Johnson and Danny ducked behind a stack of crates, returning fire. We've got to move. We're sitting ducks here. Anna dragged Peter to cover, her mind racing. They were ambushed, outnumbered. She needed to get them out alive. Johnson, cover us. Danny, stay low and follow me. They moved through the maze of shipping containers, the gunfire growing more intense. Anna's heart pounded in her chest as she led them to an old warehouse, the door hanging ajar. In here, quick! They slipped inside, the sound of gunfire muffled by the thick walls. Anna barricaded the door with a nearby crate, her breathing ragged. Everyone okay? Johnson nodded, reloading his weapon. Danny looked shaken but unhurt. Peter was trembling, his eyes darting around the darkened warehouse. What now? Anna took a deep breath, her mind racing. We need to regroup and figure out our next move. We're in over our heads here. As they caught their breath, Anna's phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. You're out of your depth, detective. Turn back or face the consequences. Anna's jaw tightened. They were being watched, hunted. But she couldn't give up now. Emily's life depended on it. I won't back down. We'll find you, Emily. No matter what. She looked at her team, her resolve hardening. We're not turning back. We need to find Emily and bring these bastards down. Let's get to work. With renewed determination, they began to plan their next steps, knowing that the battle had only just begun. The shadows of the past were closing in, but Anna was ready to face them head on.